We're here today at Fat Cats Motor Park to test out the KTM 2017 range. The 250SX has had a full overhaul, and you know, it's got a new engine, a new chassis, suspension modified, and do we think it's a big improvement? And the answer to that is yes. The bike is, it's got the chassis of the rest of the range, which basically allows you to be pinpoint accurate around on the track. You're moving the bike exactly where you want it to be. It feels like you're dancing. You can really see it into the turns and load up the front and the rear. The power is real good, to be honest. It stretches out far enough in each gear for you to, like for today, to get you over the bumps and to be jumping holes, and the response as well is spot on. But this year KTM have picked up, and what they've done is they've put a counterbalance shaft inside the engine, which basically is reduced vibration massively. The 150, like I say, putting a little bit more weight on, that. I do favour that bike more just because of that, because you know, if you're on the 125 and you come out of a turn and you do make a slight mistake, or you know, the rear wheel does go a little bit sideways and you have to pick it back up again, you know, that jump you're going to struggle to get over if there's one in front of you, whereas on the 150 you can seat bounce it. It's got that extra power, extra drive that will get you over it. There's been little changes made on the 4-strokes this year. The 350 now has got obviously the mapping, the options and maps, which all the 4-stroke range have. So you've got map 1, map 2, and you've got the TLC, which they call the traction control, which basically just caps off the revs if it gets an instant spike. The 350 off is the most popular bike, and still is. You know, there's nothing really that bike does wrong. For me personally, today, riding around in some heavy conditions at Fat Cats, I personally like map 2, which just give it that little bit more of a connection and a little bit more of response coming from the turn, and you know, and helps you dance around the track a little bit more, and picking up the front wheel going from bump to bump. Suspension across the board on all the range is key. So what I would suggest is the first thing that you do is you go straight to to ride the sag. I rode the 450, which for me, the 450, you know, it is so fast. You're riding it. It's a well balanced bike, as most of them are well balanced. But I can't stress again, the key thing is to getting the sag right, to get the balance correct. With the 450, you're just making track meters so fast, but it does seem a little bit sluggish, you know, regarding response compared to the 250 and the 350. The mapping helps that out a little bit. Do you want traction control in the sand? No, you know, it's not needed. But I've been lucky enough to try the bikes in Spain and on the hard pack, and there it's definitely needed. So for me personally, I struggled a little bit on some sections, just picking up the front wheel and just that throttle to rear wheel connection over the rest of the range. That is 250. The 250, you know, the horsepower that bike produces is insane. So you don't want anything more from a 250F really, and because of that, because it stretches out, because it can get over the, you know, it can pull you through the range and get you over them little bumps. Then once you get that suspension set correctly, you know, it doesn't get you out of shape.